Hello and welcome to week 4 of my 90-day sprint in which I try to get 3 things done before 2026. I have officially gotten 2 of them done, but the last one, I'm not sure it's going to happen. If you're new around here, my name is Olivia, and on this channel, I share my journey in seeking a cozy life. If you've been around here for a bit, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you here. And before we get into it, if you have not seen my 3 things before 2026 video, where I kind of set the stage for this sprint, I highly recommend going and watching that. And then if you feel like it, you can watch the first few weeks and kind of get caught up on all of the drama that has unfolded and the struggles that I have gone through as I have been working on these 3 big things. I do go into them a lot more in that video, but I will kind of recap here really quickly just to bring you up to speed in case you don't want to watch those or if it's been a minute. So the 3 things on my original list were: number 1, launch an email list for my web design studio, Kindred & Kind. Launch my cozy online shop called Cozy Made, where I sell sweatshirts, desk mats, ADHD friendly, like minimalist designs. And then the 3rd one was to finish the first draft of Project Sunfire, my adult romantasy novel. As of right now, we have gotten the first 2 done. The email list is launched and Cozy Made is live and ready for people to shop. So the 3rd one, the novel, that's the one I am not sure I'm going to be able to get done. So all throughout this, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster. Lots of chronic health issues going on, lots of emotional stuff. And in case you aren't aware, I do have kind of a deadline as far as my studio, where I need to be fully self-sufficient by the end of the year. After the new year, my partner will no longer be financially assisting me while I build the studio. And not long after that, I do need to find a new place to live. So there's a lot of big, heavy stuff going on. And if you've seen the previous vlogs, you know. If you haven't and you want to kind of see the ups and downs and the struggles and the journey, definitely go check those out. But yeah, I'm struggling today. I really am. I'm relieved to have Cozy Made done. I'm relieved to have my email list set up and ready for, like the full funnel and everything ready for people to find. Now we're to the point where I need to figure out how to get people to see it. Exposure, visibility. So I'm going to continue doing my outreach emails. However, I don't want to put all of my eggs in one basket because I'm kind of wondering how much they're actually getting seen because of spam filters and everything. So I have a course I'm going to be taking for ads so that I can learn how to start running ads efficiently and effectively without wasting a ton of money. And then I also have another mini course that I'm going to take where she walks you through setting up what she calls a 9 grid, where you basically create 9 posts on Instagram as kind of like a collage and you upload them and they're evergreen. When people find your profile, those posts tell them everything they need to know about you. And then basically the link in your bio is like your call to action kind of thing. Hi. So I know that posting a lot on social media is the typical route that people say to go when you're starting a business, when you're trying to get out there. However, I am a chronically ill solopreneur with very limited energy and time. I do not have the energy to be constantly chasing the algorithm on top of sending outreach, like doing all these other things. So I'm trying to figure out what my business needs in balance with what I can actually do, what is sustainable for me. So that is where I'm at coming into this 4th week of the sprint. I can't believe Halloween is on Friday. So I have basically 2 months to get to where I am supporting myself. And that is scary as all get out. So that is why I feel the need to push so hard with the studio. Before you drop a comment saying like, well, why aren't you just looking for a job? Why, I have done that and it ended up being very toxic for me. And I don't want to go back through that again. because I have come to the realization through all of that I'm not meant to work for someone else. I am meant to be an entrepreneur. So this time I'm not going to chicken out, because the last time I chickened out and I just went and got a job, and while I did learn a lot from that job, like I said, it became very toxic to me. So I'm like, I'm back in this position again, and I don't want to waste it. You know, I really feel that if you don't learn what you're supposed to learn from a situation the first time or the second time or whatever, the universe will bring it back around until you do. And so here I am in this situation again, and I really believe that the universe wants me to learn how to push through, how to stop fearing success, how to stand on my own 2 feet, and do this studio that I have been dreaming about. Well, if you want to get really technical, since I was like 14, 15, so 20 good years. If you want to do more recent, 2018. Either way you dice it. It's been a long time coming, and I'm just so tired of when it gets tough and I lose hope, just giving up on it and going and getting a job and then ending up in a situation where I am very unhappy, it's unhealthy, and I land right back here where I'm struggling to figure out what the heck I'm going to do. So I'm taking that as the universe's sign to me that I just need to do it. And the thing is, this studio is very much in alignment with the dreams that I have for my future, the life that I want to live. So I know it's what I need to be doing. Does that make it less scary? No. But that's why I'm documenting this, because I want to remember how scared I was. I want to remember how hard it was, how hopeless, how much discouragement and despair I felt, so that when I am on the other side of it, I can look back and remember what I pushed through. I can have this journal online, and also to encourage you in case you're in a similar situation where you have big dreams and you want to follow them to the life that you feel you were put on this earth to live, to do the things that you feel you were put on this earth to do. Because I feel so often we see the Jenna Kutchers and the Jasmine Stars and we're like, wow, like they have it so easy, and it's so easy to forget that they started out as normal people just like us, just like me. And I never want to forget that. And I never want anybody who looks at me to feel that way. So anyway, that is why I'm doing this. And also to keep myself on track, give myself some accountability for this sprint, to stay the course and to continue making content here on YouTube, which was a commitment of mine for 2025. So anyway, all of that to say, I am battling some ADHD depression today. Yes, that is a thing. It is legit. It is kind of all tangled up in hormones and just life, the weather, my chronic stuff going on, like all of that. But I journaled about it for a bit and I feel a little bit better enough to hop on here and go ahead and vlog. But I'm still struggling and I want to be real about that. So I do have some freelance tasks to get done. So I think I'll start with those because they are pretty quick and I know what I'm doing. Like there's no guesswork. It's just easy stuff. So I think I'll start with those. And then I need to figure out what the week's plan kind of looks like. I forced myself not to think about work at all yesterday or Saturday. So that means kind of trying to figure it out as I go today. But I'm going to start with the freelance tasks and then see how my energy is and kind of go from there. So I will check back in with you guys a little bit later and let you know how it's going. Today ended up being a bit of a wash. I just basically felt frozen. And I was thinking about it and I was like, I realized, wait, this feels like a freeze response. And it technically started yesterday. And I basically spent all day yesterday cold, like no matter what I did, except for like when I was in bed snuggling with Desi. Even then, one of my hands just would not get warm. It's weird. And then today, I've also just been cold all day, no matter what I did. It's like, okay. And that's when I realized, I put two and two together, and I was like, okay, so my nervous system is going into a freeze response. And I just kind of journaled through it a little bit and was like, why did this hit me when it did? You know, what happened? Nothing really happened. I'm not really sure. Sorry if I'm like, I just kissed Desi a little bit. And so I feel like I have like her fur all over my mouth. So if I'm like fidgeting, it's because it tickles. I was like trying to figure out, you know, is that what this is? Because usually when I go into freeze, it's in a response to something that happened. Like something will happen and then I can feel it. And so like that connection is just very clear in my mind. But nothing really happened over the weekend. If anything, I had a pretty dang good weekend. Like, so I just looked it up. I was like, okay, what causes freeze response? And then I found an article that talks about dorsal vagal shutdown, which is basically the technical term within polyvagal theory of freeze. And the symptoms are basically like everything that I've been feeling yesterday and today is on that list. And the TLDR is that it happens when you're put into a situation where fight or flight is not an option. So your nervous system, in an effort to protect you from perceived danger, begins to conserve energy and go into shutdown mode. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like a direct cause and effect, like boom, boom, like this happens at, you know, it can be kind of a gradual thing or a delayed thing in response to like an ongoing situation. It's like I realized that with everything going on with my partner and then my living situation and all of that, you know, and this huge deadline looming 2 months out. And, you know, looking at the month of October, feeling like, okay, I did all of these things. Am I any closer? You know, 1 of 3 months is basically almost wrapped up, and it's feeling a lot more urgent, and I can't fight or flight my way through this. So this nervous system response makes sense. I was just thinking about it, and I know that it has to do with past trauma. And I know that I can't brute force my way through this. I can't just force myself to like send outreach, you know, or I can't just muscle my way through the courses and just force myself to do all of the things, because that isn't safe. Forcing myself to do things that don't feel safe is not safe, and it will backfire. I'll either get sick and burn out and really not be able to do anything, or I might have some momentary, you know, success, you know, results from what I do, but then because I didn't start with a foundation of safety when I did them, and I got the results, you know, not feeling safe, I'll fall right back where I am now. And the reason I know that is because it's happened before. I just didn't know until I understood more about the nervous system, freeze response, polyvagal theory, all of that. I had no idea that's what was happening. Right now, I'm in a place where I am looking inward and asking myself, what do I need to do to help my nervous system realize that every step I take toward my dreams is safe because my dreams are safe. The universe would not have given me these dreams and directed me on this path to pursuing them if it wasn't safe. So that is what I am trying to internalize. And I think I'll probably do some tapping to kind of hopefully help my nervous system stop seeing these steps as a threat, as something unsafe, because I am my own safe place. No matter where I go, no matter what I do, no matter what's going on around me, I am my own safety. And at least this time I'm aware of it. Like in my mind, I'm like, okay, this feels like a freeze response. Whereas before I would have just been like really down on myself and feeling shame and guilt and frustration and anger that I couldn't just make myself do this stuff. And I wouldn't know why or how to change it, how to fix it. This isn't something you fix. This is something that you support your body through. Hopefully this made sense and is helpful. I think that this is something that every entrepreneur at some point goes through and can be an incredibly valuable experience if you don't give up, if you instead lean into it and cultivate tools to support your body, your nervous system, and then you have that going forward no matter what, even outside of being a business owner, obviously. But being a business owner can feel very unsafe in general. So cultivating a sense of safety in your own nervous system, no matter what is going on, can be absolutely game-changing. Mainly, I want to come out of freeze. I'm tired of being cold. My hands are cold right now as we speak, even though I was just upstairs doing dishes, like loading the dishwasher, washing dishes, scrubbing the stove, in a sweatshirt, thick socks. Like I'm dressed for winter and I'm doing housework and my hands are still freezing. Hot water, like it didn't matter. My hands are still freezing. So I'm trying to focus more on my body and listening to what it says instead of getting stuck up here with the guilt and the shame and the hamster wheel of, oh man, today was a waste and these are hours you can't get back, and just all of the negativity that comes with that. I'm already really down-regulated right now because of this freeze response, this dorsal vagal shutdown, and that just makes it worse. So I need to upregulate. I'm gonna support my body through the freeze part of it I had a nice warm heavier meal. I have my thick socks on, like I said. I'm gonna dig out one of my favorite Think blankets that I put away for the summer, and I'm gonna also do my acupressure mat. I'm gonna take a hot shower, really try to warm up, and also listen to like some upbeat music, try to upregulate to help get my body back up where it needs to be. So that is going to be, and then hopefully be able to get my mind quiet enough to go to sleep. I might also cry in there somewhere. Just been kind of feeling it. So anyway, that was my Monday. So to say that I had the Monday blues was kind of an understatement. But at least I understand it now. I know what's going on, and I can support my body, support my nervous system through it. I can take aligned action to get myself back to where I need to be. And in doing so, practice using these tools that I have learned. So I'm just grateful that I know about them. And when I didn't and this stuff would hit, it was always just shame and guilt and debilitating depression spiral. So that's why I wanted to share all of this, because it is so easy to just automatically assume, oh, it's just me being lazy or I'm just procrastinating because blah, blah, blah. Not to say that that isn't it sometimes. However, there are very real neurological reasons, physiological reasons that this stuff happens too. It's not just you wanting to doom scroll or whatever it is. So please, please, please be encouraged that if you are in a similar situation and you're dealing with some of this stuff, there may be more to it than you really know. So dig into it, you know? So anyway, I'm gonna leave off here for tonight, try to upregulate a little bit, and hopefully when I report back tomorrow, I'll be a little bit more regulated. Fingers crossed. If not, just gonna do it all again tomorrow and keep supporting my body, take it a day at a time, take it a moment at a time, and get back on track. Because I know what I need to do. As scary as it is, it's still safe for me to do these things. And it builds to a safer life. Just gonna repeat that to myself as I fall asleep tonight. So, anyway, I'll catch up with you tomorrow. It's about lunchtime and I'm only just picking up my camera to record today. I just got off of a call that's part of a course that I'm doing and learned a lot. And it gives me a lot to think about as far as my business. I've continued to feel cold again today and so, been in shutdown. So I'm just taking it easy and doing what I can. I have also been making sure that I take the time to be very introspective and kind of meditative throughout the day, and also took some time to scroll on Instagram. Now, before you jump to conclusions on that, I have been very, very intentional in curating my personal Instagram to basically just be full of content from trauma-informed people and like very wellness-minded people, so that it is there for these tough days when I really need some affirmation, encouragement, insight, information on trauma. Just to make that very clear, like I didn't just get on to like scroll and, lose track of time. I got on there because I was like, I need some encouragement. And I don't really have any friends in my life who I can reach out to for that. So Instagram, it is my personal Instagram anyway. And what do you know? The top post in the feed when I opened the app was a really, really good post. I can link it in the description, talking about the fear of being seen and how it can go back to childhood trauma when being seen might have meant you were in trouble, and now that translates into your body physically, like literally holding you back when you're about to make progress and get to where you want to be, because it involves being seen. And I was like, oh my God, that is literally what's happening here. So, and I had kind of wondered if that might be it. I was like, what, this shutdown freeze is happening because my nervous system is trying to protect me from something. But I couldn't, like last night, I was like, what is it? I could not put my finger on it. This is why I was so intentional in curating my personal Instagram, so that my feed is basically just a tool for me, because it came in clutch. And so after lunch, I'm going to get some warm food in my tummy, and Hopefully some Tylenol and caffeine will kick the headache I've been fighting all day. It's slowly been getting worse. So I'm like, oh no, we're not going back. We're not going back to that if we can help it. So once I kind of feel better and these things aren't distracting me, I'm gonna grab my journal. I'm gonna do a meditation, like a full-on meditation, and do some tapping and start to hopefully work my way through that fear of being seen, because basically everything that I feel I am meant to do with my life requires being seen. And it is in complete opposition. The sphere is in complete opposition to those desires, the yearning, what I feel I was put here to do. In case you're not aware, one of my dreams is to be a New York Times bestseller. What does that require? My novel being out there in the world, me being seen. I want a successful design studio where I pour into the lives of holistic wellness professionals around the nation, if not around the world, and get to the point where I can treat my clients once a year to this all expense paid, beautiful retreat for them to get poured back into. What does that require? Me talking to people, getting clients, building a community, being seen. Roll it back to where I am right now. Me getting started. What does that require? Me being seen. Me speaking to people in their inboxes, whether it's through outreach or my newsletter or whatever, which I need to write today. So I am so tired of having this deep-rooted yearning. To put it into perspective, the song Say My Name by NFX, that has been one of my anthems in this season as I have been coming into my power and uncovering who I really am. That song has been front and center for me. That and this fear have been clashing in me this whole time and creating such a struggle, such a dissonance, a static, just background noise, just constant back and forth. And I'm just so tired of it. I am so ready to leave it behind, whatever this fear of being seen is from. I know that some of it is from the abuse that I suffered as a child, because that kind of thing is so pervasive and it literally can affect how your nervous system is wired for the rest of your life. And so I want to reverse that damage. I want to rewire those connections and put this behind me once and for all, because as I have realized, the mountain is me. I haven't read that book yet, but I watched a video, someone talking about that, and how they summarized it beautifully. And I was like, yeah, the mountain is me. And I am so tired of being in my own way. Breakthrough is on the way. I know it. My body would not be having this visceral response to this if I was not about to break through. I have to believe that. And this is not something that I can control. It's something that my body is doing because it's picking up on signals and things that I'm not entirely aware of. And it's trying to protect me. And I need it to know that it's okay and that the good things that are coming, even if they're scary, I'm still safe. I am still safe. And everything I'm doing to get to my dreams, every step I take is safe because my dreams are safe. I'm going to have a warm lunch, hopefully get my body kind of feeling calmer and safer, and do some deep work today. And then after that, I will probably crash because that's kind of how it goes. In fact, maybe I will get my freelance tasks done before then in case I do crash and don't actually have the energy to do anything later. So anyway, I will hop back in later. hopefully with something good to share. I'm doing a lot better. I'm feeling pretty worn out like I thought I would be, but I was able to get my freelance tasks done anyway. So there's that. I ended up doing a chakra activation alignment kind of meditation earlier, and I hadn't done it in a while. So they were kind of crusted over is the best way I can put it. Like rusty. And I had to kind of like rejuvenate and realign and reconnect with my chakras. And from there, I went into tapping through the fear of being seen. I barely made it through tapping through it one time before I just burst into tears and had a good cry. And I felt like something in me just really cracked wide open. And I ended up journaling like 5 pages, like a mad woman, like a fiend. And it was so cathartic and so healing. Ever since then, I have started to feel a bit warmer throughout the evening. I took time to make some hot soup for dinner and made like a pumpkin bread cake kind of thing. Just, being up there in the kitchen with the warm oven and then having the hot food. Like my stomach is so like settled and full and warm. But like I've been in here at my computer for a little while now and I'm still warm. I don't have that lingering chill. So I am definitely feeling better, just very wrung out. I think I will tap through one more time before I go to bed, just to really cement the work I did today, and so that my subconscious will kind of be implementing and owning, internalizing while I sleep. And then tomorrow I'll see how I feel, and if I need to tap through it some more, I will. I'm just gonna keep doing it until I no longer feel that freeze every time I think about doing what I need to do for my studio. So that is where I'm at, and I wanted to share that because it was really, really powerful and profound and deep, very deep work. Very, 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 very deep work. I had to do it because, like I mentioned before, even if I had forced myself to do this stuff and work through the freeze and all of that, it would have backfired because it would have been like trying to walk on a leg that wasn't fully healed after it had broken or something. Using support, whatever, just masks the issue, while underneath it just injures it further, and it would backfire and end up in a relapse. And that is what I felt very, very strongly, and why I did not force myself yesterday or today to do the things without digging deep and uncovering and doing this deep work to find out what the root cause was and helping heal that. Resolve, heal, and release that trauma. I am so relieved. I know that it was a huge step forward. There's more to do. And I know that there are other things like imposter syndrome that I need to work on as well. But I don't want to do too much too fast. So first, really zeroing in on the fear of being seen, I honestly think may help to resolve some of the imposter syndrome stuff too. I'm feeling hopeful and encouraged for the first time in, a couple weeks, like really deep, like to my core hope, not just excitement or whatever. And before I wrap up for the night, I wanted to share a little bit from my journaling earlier because I feel like maybe it'll resonate. And I don't know, if you aren't really into spirituality and you don't believe in like spiritual experiences, you may want to skip over this part. I'm going to share a little bit about an experience that I had while I was aligning my chakras, so you can just kind of skip ahead a little bit if this isn't your cup of tea. But basically, once I got to my ajna and I opened it, I saw myself flying up into space and looking down over the US like on a map. And I started seeing fires pop up all over the US. And it was fires of hope and passion and life and love and joy that started because of me. And it's like I stepped outside of myself and I like my vision turned to see myself and I was shining like the sun. I realized the sun is meant to be seen and to bring life and warmth and to nurture life. It was so amazing to see that. And I thought back to the nickname that my dad had for me as a kid. And it was Annie Sunshine, because Annie was my birth name. He would call me Annie Sunshine. And all throughout my life, I have been told that I radiate life, that I radiate warmth, that I bring light and life to a space. There was a job that I had and some close friends. It was when I worked for a chiropractor. They kept going to the office even after I left. And they said that after I stopped working there, the light went out of the office. And that has stuck with me. That was almost 10 years ago. And that has stuck with me all this time, where people say that about me. And it's like it all kind of clicked that they saw that in me before I saw that in myself. And one of the things that I wrote down was that I am meant to be seen, to warm and bring life to all around me, to create sacred safety in which others find their truth, see their truth selves and their value and their purpose. I am meant to nurture, to create, to grow, to heal, to illuminate, to open closed doors, and to lead. To be seen is to fulfill my ikigai, to fulfill the reason I am here, the reason I chose to be born and grace this world with my light. I wanted to come here because I knew that this world needs what I can give. People need to see my light and to feel the warmth and safety of it, to know and be known, to truly believe that they are not alone. And it's like it became so clear to me in that moment. I have always struggled to see my own value. I have made myself small to fit into what other people needed me to be, to avoid too much attention, to keep people from saying things like, oh, you're too much. You're so sensitive. You're so delicate. You're so this, you're so that. And so I closed off those parts of me that made them say that, and I hid them, and I denied them, I repressed them, and just ended up making myself smaller and smaller and smaller. I'm not doing that anymore. I am ready to step out of all of that. And I realized that no matter what I do, whether it's this YouTube channel, whether it's my design studio, whether it's coaching, whether it's my cozy product line, it does not matter what I do. Everything I touch, everything I do, everything I pour my time into, my novels, everything will, because I accept myself and own my role as a light bringer, everything I do will spread that light. And I want everything I do to bring people a sense of safety, of sacred safety, and a sense of being held and a sense of being seen and known, because I have struggled so much with that in my own life. And I want to give to other people what I have not had, because this world needs it. We all need it so much. I want to give people courage, and I want to talk about this and help you know that it's okay what you're feeling, and that if you have spent your entire life making yourself small, you don't have to do that anymore. The people who want you to stay small, they don't deserve you. They don't deserve you. They are not worth losing yourself. And, oh man, if I had understood this a couple years ago, there was something that my then best friend said to me. I was telling her about how every time I went to her house, I got a migraine. And of course, this was before I understood all of the histamine stuff and the intolerance and everything. And I was like, I don't understand. Like, every time I come to your house, I leave with a migraine. And of course now, like I said, I completely get it. They had how many cats, dogs, they had a room with a mold problem. Like, there was so much going on. And my body just couldn't handle it. Her response was that, oh, you're just so delicate. And I really wish that I had had the guts, the voice, the authority to say, so are you. You just pretend not to be in order to survive. Or the time that someone else close to me said, you are the most sensitive person I know. And it hit me so hard, like it was a bad thing. And I got defensive about it. And I really wish that I had said thank you. And I really hope that if somebody were to say that to me now, that I would be like, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. What a day. I knew that today was going to have some deep work. I could sense it. That I was about to embark on a deep dive and have a breakthrough. And I'm really, really glad that I leaned into it. And I'm also really, really glad that I have the opportunity to share it here for those of you who need to hear it, and also for my future self to remember this part of my life, this time, this era. Anyway, I have turned in my freelance tasks and cleaned the kitchen and kind of gotten to where I'm ready to wind down with some video games before bed. So that's what I'm gonna do. Let my voice rest. Because apparently it's trying to do a thing. I don't know. So we'll just see how I feel in the morning, and I'll catch up with you then. Okay, I officially have my heater in my office. It has been 66 degrees in here all day, and you can't really probably see out the window here, but it is gray and rainy and cold, so it's not going to warm up in here. And I'm tired of being cold, especially coming out of a freeze response. Like I currently have it getting the room to like 70 degrees just to warm it up in here. But anyway, I just finished lunch and I wanted to hop in because literally while I was going up the stairs to get my food out of the air fryer, I had another brain explosion. And it has to do with my fear of money. Which, saying it out loud sounds so weird, but I have heard other people talk about it, and I know it's a real thing. And I was thinking about it because it's wrapped up in my fear of being seen. And I realized in the span of, however long it took me to get up the stairs, that there were 2 layers to it. So I got my food, I raced back down, pulled out my journal, and as I was writing the fact that it was twofold, a third thing popped into my head. So I was like, no, there's 3 things. There's 3 things. And I wanted to share them because I have a feeling that one, if not more or all of these things could be a lot more common than we really think, than we really talk about. So again, being open, being real, destigmatizing things, normalizing conversations. You know me. If you've been around here for any length of time, you know that those are the conversations I like to have. Those are the things I like to talk about. So I want to share what I wrote in my journal. So number one, growing up, I saw money be the cause of so much anger, strife, anxiety, and frustration between my parents. It was something they fought over, if they were even able to talk about it at all. And I always felt afraid when they did. I hated it when my parents fought. Growing up in a volatile home with the blow-ups and the fights, and it just, in my child brain, connected anger, fights, frustration, anxiety with money. So that's number one. Number two is the religious aspect. I grew up in a very conservative Christian home, and it was drilled into my head that the wealthy man would not enter the kingdom of God. So I felt afraid that if I had too much money, I would go to hell. I'll just let that speak for itself. And lastly, number three, the fear of losing good things, of loss in general. Because as I was taught, and this is tied into the religious aspect as well, God gives and God takes away. And then also seeing so much loss in my life, which I have lost so much in my life. So my nervous system was, well, I'm afraid of losing this. So if I don't have it, I won't lose it, right? And that became the safe limiting belief. Safe limiting belief. That's a lot to unpack. And once again, I am in the middle of a huge growth phase in this season. Like, this is crazy. Like, this is just insane to me how deeply rooted some of these things are. Even though I'm no longer religious, two of the three things here that have been holding me back from financial stability are tied into my religious upbringing. It's interesting because when I started into the week, part of me was like, I wonder if I need to just take this week off, like work, aside from freelance stuff. And because I don't have any massive projects going, I have the calendar space, the white space, and I didn't want to because I didn't want to waste the time. I didn't feel like I would be any better at the end of it, because in my mind, time off meant, gaming, reading, maybe some writing, coloring, things like that. And those things have a place and they have a time, but they weren't what I needed to be doing like all day, every day, week off work, that kind of thing. And I'm realizing that I might need to take this week. I am rewiring foundational core beliefs that have lived in my nervous system ever since before I can remember. I am uprooting dangerous, harmful, toxic beliefs that have been hiding out in my nervous system, hiding out in my brain this whole time and holding me back. The things that I have gone without, the opportunities I have missed because of these things, I have to grieve that. I have to take time to recognize and reconcile all of that, while also dropping into my body and creating a sense of safety in the new, safety in the change, in the revolution, in the metamorphosis. I don't have the energy for massive work stuff. Like I literally don't. And I'm going to go back to what I said previously, where if I pushed through without addressing these things, it would be like trying to force myself to walk on a broken leg without letting the leg heal, without resetting it, tending it, letting it heal. And that brings me back to a question I asked my therapist last week. It's like, somebody breaks their leg. You don't have all of society going, well, it's been a month. Why aren't you doing the things? Well, it's been 2 weeks. Why aren't you back to normal? No, it's a given. You break your leg, you need however many months or whatever the doctor says. Why do we not give the same automatic courtesy, thought, whatever, to mental wellness, to grief, depression, chronic illness? I mean, I guess some of them get that. You say somebody has MS and it's like, oh, don't push them too hard. Anyway, I'm going to tangent. I think it's really interesting that this came about because last night I found a reel on Instagram. It just popped up in my feed. This guy was sharing a manifestation exercise kind of thing. I'll link it in the description in case you want to take a look. But he challenges you to do it a minimum of 5 times a day for the next 3 days and see what happens. And I was like, okay, I will see what happens. So today, every hour on the hour, I have been pausing and doing the manifestation exercise. I will admit I am approaching it from a cautious, slightly skeptical perspective, where he says basically kind of like watch the money come in kind of thing. And I'm like, we'll see. I am taking it as a chance to rewire my nervous system. Whether that manifests outwardly in my bank account within the next 3 days or not, I don't really care. I am focusing on using it to create a sense of safety in my body regarding money. So I thought that was really interesting. And then these brain explosions happened today. Once again, this is why I took so much time and effort to curate my personal Instagram, to follow people who post these things. So that way the algorithm shows me things, whether it's somebody I follow or somebody who is suggested to me. The content I need right in that moment is there. So highly recommend. Anyway, I've been chattering on for long enough. I think from here, what I'm going to do is work on my freelance tasks. I need to check Slack and see if I've heard back on one of the tasks that I need to wrap up. If I have, I'll knock it out. If not, I'm going to go straight into editing this vlog. This week being so heavy on the growth and all of that, I have talked a lot, so it's going to be a long one, I think. I hope it's good. I hope that you find value and affirmation and encouragement in it. I love sharing what I am walking through. It lights me up to talk about this stuff and share it. And I hope it touches you. So anyway, that being said, I need to get a jump on editing. And I think I am just going to allow myself to soak in these nervous system changes and really lean into grieving and releasing and healing, because there really is so much in my life that I have lost and that I have gone without, that I have missed out on because of these limiting beliefs. And I want to honor that. I want to recognize it and be able to write the end on those stories of loss, put them on the shelf, and be free of them. Be able to move forward into this next chapter free of those things. So I don't know how much I'm going to get done on the actual sprint stuff. I mean, okay, technically all I have is the novel on the actual sprint, but that's splitting hairs. So I'll just say I don't know how much I'm going to get done on the actual business business this week. And I'm okay with that because I'm still feeling that anxious, unsafe energy whenever I think about diving in and doing some of this stuff on the business. And that's what I'm trying to rewire. Anyway, Slack, vlog editing, go from there. Got a plan. And maybe cry some more and journal and and also enjoy the rain on my window. It's so nice. Anyway, I will catch up with you a little bit later. I don't really have a whole lot to update on. I ended up going and making dinner not long after my check-in earlier, and I was craving more chicken soup, so I took the time to make some fresh rice and then make some soup. So ended up taking up quite a bit of my evening, but I'm so glad I did because my tummy is nice and warm and full, and I am just very, very happy that I took the time to do that. So yeah, I just journaled some more, and now I am feeling spent, wrung out, exhausted. So I am done for the night. I will get on my games and do like my minimum daily stuff, take a shower and take Desi out, and then I'm booking it to bed. I am really feeling the deep work that I did today. So I'm going to listen to my body. Just tuck in with one of my favorite cozy ASMR type gaming YouTubers. I love her channel. It's Mori Faye on YouTube. I'll link it in the description. She does very chill playthroughs of like game demos and all sorts of really cool games, very cozy, and she's so soft-spoken and just very even-toned that I just find her videos excellent to wind down to. I can put my AirPods in with binaural beats, like just the pure tone, and then have her YouTube video going on my TV a little bit quiet, just enough for me to hear what she's saying and kind of follow along, but not be like overwhelming or too stimulating. And her voice is just so soothing. So I think that is probably gonna be what I do after my shower and get to sleep early. One thing that I will share really quick before I hop off was I came across a thread on Threads earlier, and this guy was talking about how ADHD brains need slow mornings. And that really resonated with me because I have heard that picking up your phone first thing in the morning is not good, but especially for ADHD brains. It's like it's the wrong kind of dopamine, wrong kind of activation, wrong kind of stimulation for first thing in the morning. And it can kind of cause a disrupt throughout the rest of the day. So I thought that was really interesting. Like something so simple as not picking up my phone as soon as I get up and opening my email app, going to Instagram or whatever, like something so simple as changing that habit could have an impact on my entire day. That's really interesting. So I'm going to try to remember to do that tomorrow. Of course, I have to pick up my phone to turn off my alarm. And I always like to check to make sure that there's no, urgent message that's come through. But otherwise, like, turn off my alarm. Is there like any kind of time sensitive thing? No. Okay, cool. Put the phone down. And then maybe not, like, I don't know, try not touching it until after I eat breakfast. I don't know. I'm going to see. I'll just see. But anyway, tomorrow is going to be a little bit busier. I need to leave here around 2:30 to go to the chiropractor. I definitely want to get done what I can before I go, because once I get back, it'll be a little bit of a limited window there before my partner and I have to go do groceries and run all the errands and stuff. So It's going to be a little bit busier than my usual days are. That is my plan. So I am going to call it a night, and I will see you in the morning. I had a lovely slow start to the day, and now I'm ready to dive in. I just fixed my hair, washed my face, because I will be going to the chiropractor later. Dizzy wants to be in the conversation, so she's up here on my desk. But anyway, I have a freelance task that came through last night, and so I'm going to get that done really quick, and then I'll be making my lunch and working on editing this vlog until it's time to go to the chiropractor. I'm also really excited because I just found out about the Animal Crossing New Horizons 3.0 update coming in January. They said they weren't doing any updates to the game, so we all thought, okay, it's just over. And here we are, 4 or 5 years later, getting a big update. And I am, oh my gosh, I have been wanting to play Animal Crossing again and work on my fall island. So I was actually thinking about working on that, like streaming it or something like this weekend and working on it. And then this comes through and I'm just like, oh my God. So I'm really hoping. I have a modded Switch, like a Gen 1 Switch that I modded. And so I'm really hoping that it will be compatible with 3.0. Fingers crossed. Because I really want all of the new items and stuff. So, but anyway, I'm really close to being done with my fall island and would love to finish it like, next month while it's still fall. So anyway, I've just been kind of walking around with a smile on my face because it just feels so nostalgic to have an Animal Crossing update. And oh my gosh, like to come in January, it's like something to look forward to past the holidays, which is awesome because I'm going to be honest, I am not looking forward to the holiday season this year since I am still not, living near my family. There's really nothing to look forward to. So it's kind of, it's the most depressing time of the year for me right now, given everything. So, plus, the impending deadlines. So it's nice to have something to look forward to after that to kind of get me through, maybe. I don't know, we'll see. But the Dream Islands, I can't remember, Slumber Islands that they showed, where you can terraform with friends and decorate with friends. It's about time. I am so excited about that. So that is where I'm at. And I'm not going to chat for very long because I definitely want to get a bit done before I go to the chiropractor. And then once I get back, I'm going to work some more. And then we have errands. So a little bit, I think I mentioned last night, it's going to be a little bit of a busier day. So I will check back in a little bit later. Hey. What's doing? I need my arm, baby. I need my arm. I'm gonna have to move you, honey. Mimi. Dizzy. Hey, I need my arm. I need my arm. I need my arm. I need my arm. I need my arm, baby. She does not want me to have my arm. I almost forgot to pop back in. I was just working on mobile optimizing a web page and was like, okay, cool. I'm done with that. I'm gonna check it off my list. And then I saw my reminder to vlog and I was like, oh crap. So anyway, I just took a nice hot shower and I'm actually feeling very relaxed and I don't have any pain at the moment, which is so nice. I was kind of fighting a headache earlier, but it went away after I got adjusted. So much relief. I am definitely looking forward to a hopefully good night's sleep. Anyway, I ended up finishing the workshop that I was doing on basically growing your business without social media. And it was very good. I took copious notes in Notion. And so I've just been chewing on it, thinking about it. I went to the chiropractor early to talk to one of the doctors. She and her husband own the practice. They actually own 2 practices locally, and she is starting a side business where she works with other chiropractic couples on running their practice while still, maintaining a healthy married relationship. So I thought that was really cool. And I was like, I have an idea. And so I proposed doing her landing page, and she loved the idea. So we're going to meet next week. I'm so excited. Another little project. And I also asked her about potentially doing like a live workshop at the office and basically sharing what's in my lead magnet as a live workshop, the 3 areas in your business that may be missing alignment or lacking alignment. I can't remember what the title. It's my lead magnet. I should know the title. But anyway, she loved that idea too. I told her what I've been learning this week about the fear of being seen and just all of that, and how my intuition told me that I should ask her about those 2 ideas as a way to step out and be seen in a safe way, because that office is such a safe haven for me and has been for years. It's been amazing to have a safe place I can go and get cared for, and it's often my hug from her every week is often the only real hug I get in a week. So very, very special. And she said that she was so proud of me for, saying something, for taking that leap, for trusting her with my ideas. And I don't know, I came home and I was just walking on air. So it's just been kind of a lighthearted feeling that I really, really needed. So I'm proud of myself, I worked through a lot this week, and I am already starting to break out of those old stories, those old patterns, and it feels amazing. So anyway, just wanted to share. It's about 10 o'clock, so I'm going to double check my Notion Action Hub and make sure I have everything done that I needed to for the day. I never got around to editing, so tomorrow is going to be chock full of editing this vlog, and I'm so dreading it because I know I have been very verbose this week. It's probably going to take me like all afternoon tomorrow. But you know what? I get to do it. I get to edit a video in which I am sharing my very real journey as an entrepreneur, starting into a new chapter and learning all the things. So I get to do that. It is an honor. It is a privilege to do that. Just have to get through the editing with my brain cells intact. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up for the night, and I will see you tomorrow. Hello. I cannot believe it is Friday already. It's almost a little bit very sorta extremely unreal. Okay, I can't believe that we're at Friday. So my partner is actually not going out of town. I just realized how close I am to the camera. The reason being his grandma is in the hospital. She's doing okay though, so that's good. But he's gonna have to put off the trip for a couple of weeks so that way she's feeling up to it. Which means I don't have the house to myself for the weekend. But that's okay. I was really like, ooh, well, I have the house to myself. Like, what can I get done? Like, what kind of stuff can I, pull out and go through and get rid of and just not worry about being in anybody's way kind of thing. But I'm actually kind of thinking that after the exhausting week I've had, I kind of need to chill. So yeah, and the Animal Crossing 3.0 news has me really, really, really itching to play and work on my fall island. So I think I might just okay, my voice is doing weird stuff. I think I might just lie low and just keep doing my daily like meditations, manifestations, tapping, journaling, like kind of through the weekend, and just really lean into absorbing and integrating the stuff I've been learning this week and the stuff that has been breaking free in my mind and taking root in my heart. So I think it's going the way it should, and I'm just gonna appreciate that. Plus, it's a gorgeous day. The sun is coming in. I moved some of my plants around to be able to drink up the sun. Now that I don't have that air unit running all the time, I can put some plants there, like on the shelf in front of it. I can't do it when I'm running it all the time because they dry out too much, but I just kind of like moved it so more of them can get some sun. So I kicked up some dust when I did it. I forget how dusty and like coated with like dog hair my plants get until I go to move one and it's like so I'm a little sniffly. kind of Anyway, I am working on mobile optimization for a website for someone. Then I need to edit this vlog and then call it a week. So that's my plan. Just gonna relax and just do these things and vibe, maybe put on some upbeat music and upregulate a bit and just kind of enjoy a casual Friday working from home. Not a whole lot going on, so I'm grateful for that. Anyway, I will check back in a little bit later with an update. Okay, my face is on fire. I don't know how red it is in the thing. My ears, like everything. I don't know if it's a histamine flare up or an adrenaline rush causing like POTS stuff, because sometimes my face will heat up when I'm having like a POTS flare up. I don't know. It could be that because I just sent out my very first monthly newsletter to 5 people, including me, because I like to see my own emails. It's mainly just to people I know who are in wellness, and I did it. I wrote the email, I edited it, I perfected it, and it's sent. I did it. After being blocked from writing it for so long, it just poured out of me yesterday. And it's sent. Like, it's done. It exists in the interwebs, in people's inboxes. I ended up writing about this week. I did not expect that. It was the breakthrough I was most scared to share. And I just knew. The words just flowed. Oh, sorry if I'm not making sense. I am kind of flustered. My heart is like, I'm like sweating. My hands are clammy, so yeah, it's definitely adrenaline. But it's not like anxiety, like unsafe. It's like a typical like, oh crap, I just did this thing. You know, it's not like my body's going, hold up. That's not safe. Like I can tell the difference. So yeah, I wrote about freeze and the fear of being seen. And so I'm gonna take Desi out into the cold and hopefully get my face to cool down. And then I'm gonna go take a shower, and I can't even put words in the right order, y'all. Okay, bring it back down. I'm also excited. Like, there is also some positive emotion mixed in there. But anyway, I did it. I feel like crying right now. I did it. I'm not afraid of being seen anymore. I did it. This is just the beginning. I had a huge boost of confidence and just excitement earlier because I messaged my therapist and one of my clients also, who's local to me, and asked them both. It's like, hey, I'm about to send out my first newsletter and I would really love to share it with you. Would you want to be added to the list to get my monthly newsletter? And they both said yes. I knew my therapist would. But I was a little bit unsure, about a client, you know, is like, and she was like, I would love to. And I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, I did it. I did it. And here we are at the end of another vlog. And this week did not go at all how I imagined it would. It was so much better. So thank you for coming along on this crazy ride with me, for sticking it out. I hope that you were inspired, encouraged, touched. Let me know in the comments. And also, if you have any questions, let me know. Yeah, okay, my heart rate's coming down now. All right, I'm gonna have a chill weekend. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, stay cozy.